LOL. So apparently my finger has healed up enough to where I can almost give the horns properly now, which is nice. So anyway, good to see everyone. Welcome back to Micah and Hatman. This week on the show, Hatman will be talking about a multiverse of malignant mages. I will be talking about the updates to Predator Hunting Grounds, and if we have time past that, we will be discussing some Twitter goings-on on top of something else that I completely forgot. So, let's go ahead and get to it. My name is Micah Curtis.
And I'm the Alex Baldwin of Earth 616.
Welcome, folks, once again to Micah and the Hatman. Alright. Actually, we're going to go ahead and switch it this week. We're going to start with my pick of the week. But I'm doing something a little different. This is something that Optimus told me to do. I'm going to go grab something out of my fridge. So bear with me for just a second. Hatman, you're being shamed, so we will hear your response to that. You're being shamed for not editing the book yet.
I'm being shamed for not editing the book yet. So, in my defense of that, I've been literally working my ass off because I had a hiccup with PayPal. They hate me, and they want a lot of my money for charges that were fraudulent, and I told them to fuck themselves, that the charges were not fraudulent, and they investigated and said, nope, actually, they're not, so give us money. So I told them to fuck themselves again, but I still have to give them money because I kind of need that account open. So I've been working literally 9 days straight. Today was my first day off. And that is why I have not edited the book. That is my defense. I know it is not adequate. Commence shaming.
Shaming has commenced. Alright. So, my review this week is actually kind of a twofold thing. So, Optimus, he said that he picked up one of these from Walmart this week. This is a Pepsi Nitro. And
Pepsi Nitro?
Yes. And for those who don't know, my favorite soda in the world is Pepsi. I have not had this
yet.
I got
a can right next to me.
Yeah. I have not had one of these yet. So we are going to get a live reaction of whether or not this is Pepsi or if this is heresy. Whoa.
So,
did you hear that?
Those of us who have...
Whoa,
yeah,
whoa.
I heard that. Oh.
Bubbled over a little bit.
So for those of us who are completely unaware that this product exists, what makes it different from a regular God tier Pepsi?
It is basically a microbrewed draft Pepsi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, that's just odd enough to work.
So, I just got a small taste of it from the bubbles, but let's hit it and see what we got here. Okay. It's very different. Now this is canned with nitrogen instead of carbon, basically.
Interesting.
It has the texture of a draft beer.
Okay.
Like, it has a head to it. So every time I'm drinking it, there's that little touch of flavor and texture on the top of it. It's very creamy.
Huh. It's not like throwing you for a loop. Like, kind of, if you threw it in a beer glass, it would.
I would have to pour this like a beer.
A Guinness, would it?
Yeah, I would have to pour this like a beer if I poured it into a glass.
I'm just imagining it, being indistinguishable from a Guinness at this point.
Yeah. Like, I've taken several sips of this, big sips, or big drinks of it, and I'm not, I don't have to belch immediately. So that's immediately a huge difference.
Yeah, that's a good quality.
Because as much as I love Pepsi, I drink too much of it too fast, you're going to hear a very loud belch, as Hatman has witnessed.
Yep.
Like,
yep.
You can legitimately, like, hear me across, like, a city block. It's that freaking loud.
Earthquakes.
So, before we get into my pick of the week, this is really good, by the way. This is fantastic. It's different. Right. I'm not saying it's better than normal Pepsi. It's different. It hasn't had a ton of time to cool in a
separate category.
Yeah, it hasn't had a ton of time to cool in my fridge either. So it's not as super cold as I would like it to be. It is cold, but yeah, this is good. It gets a thumbs up from me as a Pepsi aficionado. I really, really enjoy it. This, though, this has to be drank by itself. This would not go good as a mixer. Like, this is not something you could mix alcohol with, because the texture is not right.
Right.
A whiskey or vodka with Pepsi, which I recommend. Actually, if you're gonna do something with Pepsi, do rum. Especially if you've got like a spiced rum, like a Captain Morgan, do Pepsi. Coke goes better with whiskey, because the taste of the whiskey and the Coke mix really well, and it actually eliminates the Coke's fucking aftertaste. Because for those who don't know, I really don't like Coca-Cola. I'll drink it if that's the only thing available to me, but I really don't like it because it's just the simple fact that, like, you can clean a fucking carburetor with it, which is fucking scary. Like, you can, like, the fact that you can use Coca-Cola as a substitute for CLR. Hatman, as a southerner, will know a lot about CLR, what that stuff is.
Yep.
Fucking, that's scary. There's a reason a lot of people in some states don't drink much Coke. They drink a lot of Pepsi. Illinois is actually one of them. This is a Pepsi state more so than a Coca-Cola state. Whereas, like, in Georgia, it's the opposite. I don't know what it's like in Carolina.
The great irony is that Pepsi was born in the Carolinas.
Yeah.
But Coke is the preferred cola.
That's surprising.
It's really weird.
But anywho, no, this is good pop. Like, this is good stuff. One thing that's kind of interesting that some people have called me out on before is that sometimes I will call it pop and other times I will call it soda. It's what happens when you live the first part of your life in the Chicago area and then you move south. Because Peoria and further north, it's pop. Anywhere south of that, it's soda. Or soda pop. So you put it together.
Here, it's most of the time people will just call for Coke generally. But if you're talking about just in general, like soft drinks or soda, but I hear soft drinks more often than soda here.
Also, Mata asks...
It's not quite to the level of, like... Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mata asks, who cares? They both refer to the same thing. It's a funny regional dialect thing, and human existence is comical and fun to make fun of. It is an interesting tick, and some of us find that fascinating. So don't be so doomer.
Like Deep South, they're all called Coke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what kind of Coke you want? I want like a Pepsi. A Pepsi is considered a Coke,
Yeah.
which is blasphemous, I know, but
Yeah, I heard that a lot
that's
when
how
I
it
was in
goes.
Arkansas. That was hilarious. That was one thing that actually kind of threw me for a loop for a second when I went to a chicken wings place when I was working down there, and this nice young lady just comes up to me and goes, "What kind of Coke you want, sugar?" I'm like, "Are there varieties?" I'm like, "Oh right, I'm in a completely different state." Like, and I'm like, "Sorry, I'm from Illinois. Give me a Sprite," you know. Real quick, 420 getting through is in $25. Also, he says another Farscape funny clip for us, and he says he thinks they're gonna ruin what's left of the MCU. We'll discuss that here in a second. Also, real quick, thank you to Hardboiled and for Brian Gilmartin for the resubs. Very much appreciated. 7 months and 9 months respectively. He says Happy Mother's Day to you all. Yes, Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. And then Hardboiled says Happy Mother's Day to all moms and happy days in general for Elon Musk, the conquering hero. He's very happy about Elon Musk purchasing Twitter. So, all right. But yes, back to the Pepsi thing. Yeah, Pepsi Nitro gets a thumbs up from me, the Pepsi aficionado. This is delicious. Okay.
All right, I'll have to go look for one.
So my pick of the week is one that I didn't think would be pick of the week again. So we've talked about this before. Around the time that it came out, and that was Predator Hunting Grounds. So this game has undergone some changes since the last I played it. The last I played it, it had just come out on Steam. We did a community game night of it. And it was one of the most jank experiences that I had ever done for multiplayer. The netcode was not very good. They had just released, I want to say, the City Hunter Predator DLC. And it had lag problems, it had frame rate issues, etc., etc. And the general consensus, because at the time Ilphonic, the developers, who previously had done the Friday the 13th game, they had just been releasing DLC after DLC after DLC after DLC. Which, by the way, there's nothing wrong with a multiplayer shooter like this, especially if you're not selling it at full price, to create a bunch of DLC to make some extra cash. I'm not gonna shame you for that at all. You gotta make hay while the sun shines, you know. But with that said, the gimmick that has happened since this came out on Steam is they have updated it. And I'm assuming that the reason that they were finally pressured to update it on Steam is they probably made a lot more money. A lot more than they were thinking they were going to. Thank you, Angry Green Boss, for the gift sub. Crystal Hydra, enjoy that, buddy. And because for those who don't know, this was exclusive to PlayStation consoles and the Epic Game Store on PC. So it probably didn't move a ton of PC units. And as such, it seems like most people that I have, been playing online for the last day have been PlayStation players or Steam players. Though, when you see an Epic Game Store player, be prepared for the sweatiest fucking Predator you've ever seen in your goddamn life. Because that's somebody who's probably been playing since launch. Because Captain Thunder Nuggets can confirm, we ran into a guy last night that was literally the most aggressive and yet effective Predator that we've ever seen. Because that motherfucker was evil. And very good at what he did, He was playing the Predator like it was a fucking Quake character. Somebody got him in the wrong game. But anyway, the what they have done since then, there is a shit ton of DLC for this. In fact, allow me to read the list. First off, Arnold is in the game, as in actually Arnold, as in, like, he lent his voice and everything to this. He even does, like, audio diaries in the game. So you can get Old Man Dutch, or Punished Dutch, Venom Dutch. Well, not Venom Dutch, but you get my meaning. In this. And you can also play as the original Dutch from 1987. But, are you ready for this DLC list, Hatman?
Fire away.
You can get Dante Jefferson as a character, which is basically Marshawn Lynch as a fictional character. You can get a Samurai Predator. You can get the City Hunter Predator from Predator 2. You can get a Viking Predator.
Okay. Lol, what?
Yeah, and you get a Valkyrie Predator. You can get Isabel from the movie Predators. So apparently she got off the planet at some point. You can get what's called the Cleopatra Predator. Which, from what I understand, that Predator is actually Dutch's rival. You can get a African sort of inspired Predator called the Exiled Predator. You can get the Predators from the movie Predators. So if you thought they were cool, by all means, I thought they were stupid, but that's just me. I didn't like that movie. You can get the Predator from Alien vs. Predator Requiem, Wolf. Which, that one is really fucking good. And then you can get another Predator called the Emissary. Or you can get all the Predators, I think, for $20 as a bundle. Well, no, it includes City Hunter, the Samurai, the Valkyrie, and the Viking. So there's a shit ton of DLC for this game. There's like $70 worth of DLC for it, which is more than the game costs. Because the game's only $30. So needless to say, ton of DLC, but it got patched. Not only did it get patched, it got patched very well. Like, the crossplay is very smooth. It's not hard to link between not just Epic and Steam, but also Epic and PlayStation users. The highest ping I saw between me and somebody else was 100. Which in a first-person shooter, well, it's a first-person shooter for the fire team. It's third-person for the Predator. 100 ping is not bad. And when we were setting up private matches, the highest ping we had was Optimus, and that was only 70. And he admittedly has, like, potato internet. So, what they basically have done is they took a good concept. Like, the concept of Predator Hunting Grounds is fucking brilliant, let's be honest. You know, it is the quintessential Predator multiplayer game. You know? It's a blast to play still. But now they just made the experience that much smoother. The frame rate was a lot smoother. I didn't get any screen tearing anymore. I didn't get any frame rate hitches. It was a consistent 60. The gameplay, like, the controls are still still good. You know, they're not great, but they're good. It's still a fucking blast to play. And to be honest, if people want to know if I still recommend it, dude, fucking buy it. Like, especially if you're on PC, on Steam, there's no reason not to at this point. There's enough players across all three platforms that it's available on to get a match every time. In fact, if you play as fire team, you're going to sortie within 30 seconds. If you want to play as the Predator, it's going to be a little bit longer. It's going to take a couple minutes. But you can get it there. You can get it dirt cheap on G2A, which is what Thunder Nugget says in the chat. So, yeah. I mean, I plan on doing another community game night with this at some point. Or I might just fire it up at random with some people. And just go fucking Predator hunting. You know? So, yeah. Gets a recommendation from me still. Now, Hatman.
Yes.
Tell us about the good Dr. Stephen Strange and his most recent flick.
So, this is your big one. I'm going to talk about non-spoilers first, and then I'm going to talk about spoilers. You have the spoiler tag ready?
It is ready when you need it.
Okay, so the spoiler tag will be up when I talk spoilers. So you will know not to listen during that time. Couple of things up front. It's not on the level of Spider-Man No Way Home. I know a lot of people were expecting this to be like that kind of caliber. It's not. It's a very different movie from No Way Home.
I already have a question.
Yes.
Does it feel like a Sam Raimi film?
Absolutely.
Ooh, I like the sound of that already.
In the best way possible, as in it feels like a cross between Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies and Evil Dead.
Which is what it needed to be.
They do not pull punches at all with this. For better and for worse in that regard. Well, there's one part that I think they could have done differently, but also it's very likely that it would have gotten an R rating. So that. I'll probably talk about that moment in spoilers. Anyway, yes, this is absolutely a Sam Raimi movie. This is also like Jonathan Hickman level writing. A lot of old Jack Kirby, Doctor Strange feels too.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Raimi clearly demonstrating his knowledge of Doctor Strange and his love for the character, and that comes across so well in this movie. Brilliant stuff. So, our good doctor, Multiverse of Madness, I don't know if that's an adequate title, because really you only spend time in like 3 different universes. That's your main MCU universe, your alternate universe with the Illuminati, which is not a spoiler because it's in one of the trailers.
Yeah.
And then the last one where the Sinister Strange was from the first trailer, the things just got out of hand moment.
Yeah.
So, as far as like traversing the multiverse, really it's limited to a few. And honestly, I think that's for the best.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's breathing room there. You don't feel like you're being tossed, across too many of them. Now, a big point that I know people are going to want to know about is, how is America Chavez in this? She's fine. Honestly, she is not insufferable. She has her 2 moms from the comics, and she gets a moment, basically explaining that backstory involving them. It doesn't feel woke. It doesn't feel forced. All of it is fine for the context of the movie. The only thing that is kind of woke, quote unquote, is that she wears the Progress Pride flag pin on her jacket. But it's literally one of those things that, unless you're looking for it, or if you're really detail oriented like I am, you're probably not going to even fucking notice it. So it may as well not even be there. But on the whole, though, no, she's perfectly serviceable as a character. I came out of it not upset that they even brought America Chavez into the MCU in the first place. I don't know if I would go as far as to say this movie does for her what Into the Spider-Verse did for Miles Morales, but she could have been significantly worse, and she wasn't. So thank God for that. As far as the rest of the movie goes, like its pacing is pretty on point for the most part. There are a couple of scenes that like shit's going fast, and then it cuts away to a more slower scene. Then it goes back to like fast paced, so you get a little bit of whiplash there.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the tone and what's happening in that situation, like it makes sense, but you still feel a little bit jarred as a result. I'm not sure if I like this movie more than the first Doctor Strange also. This one kind of delves, or at least attempts to delve more into the character of Stephen Strange and like whether or not he's happy. One of the first scenes is like a former colleague of his asking like, hey, a lot of us lost a bunch of shit in the 5 years that happened, during the snap. Was there really no other way to fix this, to stop Thanos? Like, was this truly the only way to do it?
Mm-hmm.
And then, Steven is asked multiple times throughout the movie, like, are you happy? Are you happy with how things turned out? So that's kind of where you get the whole Sam Raimi Spider-Man vibes from. Specifically Spider-Man 2. The idea that, or really not the idea, the question that, are you able to be happy as a superhero? Like, is it possible for superheroes to be happy? And it's a question that Strange, wrestles with, despite the fact that he says, yeah, I'm happy. Everyone else is happy, so I'm happy. But you can tell, like, he's...
Brain did the thing again, so I'm doing the Micah thing again. Where I have my hands on my head like somebody just killed a Jawa in front of me.
Uh-oh.
That is not a small number!
Oh.
And he throws $100 at me. He says, say hello to my friend Benjamin. Hi, Ben! Nice to meet you!
Hi, Ben.
Jeebus!
Is Ben also in the Multiverse of Madness?
I guess.
Wait,
yeah, Dr. Ben Strange, where he's just some rich asshole, I guess. Like, what the fuck? Continue, sir. Now I can go see the movie.
Yeah, there you go. Now you can go watch it. So, I guess now I can talk about Wanda too.
Without spoiling anything,
This
yes.
is without spoiling anything. Watching WandaVision is kind of crucial to this movie because otherwise you will not understand her motivations for doing the things that she does. And I suppose that's all I can say about her without spoiling anything, which might be a spoiler in itself, but I mean, screw it. Geez, what else? I'm a little bit disappointed in the soundtrack, actually.
Oh.
I'll say that. They don't use the Doctor Strange motif as much as they probably should have, which is kind of weird because I know they switched composers. Danny Elfman is doing the soundtrack for this.
Right.
But you don't hear it very often at all. I think maybe like 2 or 3 places. However, there was one big surprise with the soundtrack that I will talk about in spoilers.
Okay.
Um, what can I say about the movie otherwise without spoiling it? Micah, do you have any non-spoilery questions?
Um, Let me think for a minute. So America Chavez is not or is a lot better than we thought it was going to be. Or
She she kind of takes on the trope of the kid that the old hero has to protect, but she isn't like a damsel in distress for the most part, except maybe towards one part. I'm not going to say where. Maybe towards one part she sort of is, but not really.
but she's not a Mary
She
Sue though.
no,
Okay.
she can't control her powers.
Oh,
Like that's the whole opening bit is she can't control her powers. So when Strange asks her like, okay, well, if this is important, then how about punch a hole through the multiverse for us there? And she's like, yeah, I can't do that. I literally cannot control my powers. So that's a thing.
well, that's a good thing because that was my like a lot of people when they heard they were bringing in America Chavez. Like, first off, here's the generally speaking the thing about America Chavez to any comic book fan out there. America Chavez in the comics is always going to be the sort of symbol, I guess, for what we would call the progressive push in Marvel. She will
Right.
always be the poster child of that. Because she was not created for this, but Marvel saw her as this. As basically the ultimate minority, you know? Which, by the way, obviously there's nothing wrong with being a minority. I don't give a flying fuck. But
Yeah.
Marvel is a cynical brand in comic books. Very cynical. They think that you, the audience, is going to just fall head over heels and become progressives because someone has a certain bunch of check boxes ticked and that you don't give a flying fuck about character. That's what I mean when I say that. Now,
Right.
with that said, America Chavez, they used her as basically the ultimate minority, you know? And the problem is that just about everything that she was in after Young Avengers was fucking trash.
Yep.
Her solo series is legitimately one of the worst comic books ever written. Gabby Rivera still remains probably the worst writer in comic book history. Which she beat Chuck Austin. That's saying something. And then she was in a really bad attempt to revive the West Coast Avengers, and she was ass in that too. So, needless to say, that's why a lot of people were worried that this movie was going to be a fucking progressive fucking fart sniffing fest. So,
Especially since Ironheart was announced also. And
Yeah.
that's another one that I am personally very worried about because Riri Williams is fundamentally a unlikable character.
oh, absolutely.
Just there is no redeeming factor to her at all. So they're going to have to basically completely reinvent her just to make it palatable.
Well, they're going to make her likable. Riri Williams is a fucking
Yeah.
villain.
More or less, yeah. Yeah. But no, I don't feel as bad about it right now after what they did with America Chavez. Like they clearly they took the better elements of her character. Like sure, they got the progressive points in. And actually kind of funny. My theater did not react very often which is weird because usually, like, the people around here will react to anything in Marvel movies. Excuse me a second.
Bless you.
Thank you. But they will react to anything. Like, they will scream and cheer at what the hell ever. There were basically no reactions, but one of them was when she's talking about her moms. There was an audible groan in the audience. That was interesting. But no, that was really like that in the flag pin were like the only, progressive things about her character. Like, the rest of it was just okay. Nothing wrong. Maybe the MCU is a little bit safer than we think it is. I certainly hope so. But I think this might wrap up as much as I can talk about without spoiling it. So, final verdict, non-spoilery, thumbs up, go see it. It's good. Still not sure if it's as good as the first one or not. Might have to see it another couple times or maybe just another time before I'm sure. But if you like comics Doctor Strange, you will probably fall in love with this shit. If you like Sam Raimi movies, you will probably fall in love with this shit.
Yeah, when they announced Sam Raimi for this, I'm like, that's a good pick. That's a really good pick. So, all right.
Because I think he'd been wanting to do a Doctor Strange movie for the longest fucking time.
Oh, yeah. Alrighty, folks.
So,
we are beginning the spoiler time in 3, 2, 1. Spoiler tag is up. You have been warned.
Spoiler talk. Okay, so first things first. This movie is setting up Secret Wars. Specifically, 2015 Secret Wars. They straight up name drop incursions. You know what that means.
Yeah.
They're going Secret Wars on us. So, finally, Hatman was right. Called it when Infinity War dropped. This is where they're going. This is how they're doing it. This also means that we're probably going to get Doctor Doom soon, and I am psyched as fuck for that. So don't half-ass Fantastic Four, please. God, do not half-ass Fantastic Four. Speaking of Fantastic Four, your Illuminati lineup. Yeah, everyone who wanted John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, congrats, you got him. I'm still on the fence about that casting, just completely on the damn fence about it, especially since he didn't get that many lines in this at all. I didn't really get a Reed Richards feel from him. I mean, I got the Reed Richards who was the diplomat. I didn't get the Reed Richards, like, smartest man on earth, despite the fact that they introduced him as such.
Did they have time to do it, though?
They could have, honestly. Most of the Illuminati was just limited to cameos, effectively.
Okay.
You know, they have their little meeting with Doctor Strange. They explain, like, what happened to their universe as Doctor Strange, and then they have a fight scene. And that's basically it. Like, they're not in it very long at all. Very little screen time. However, I am impressed as fuck that they actually pulled off a comics accurate Black Bolt costume.
Oh.
I mean, complete with the underarm wing thingies and everything.
Was he portrayed by the same guy who portrayed him in the show?
Yes. Same guy. Same guy, accurate costume. Honestly, that's what they should have gone for in the show. I think just that alone would have made the show better.
Well, that was part of the problem with Inhumans. It didn't feel like the Inhumans.
Yeah, exactly. But like this, no, and they show off his powers too. Like literally, a whisper fucks you up, and by fucks you up, I mean fucks you dead.
Yeah.
So yeah, he got to, he got to show off for a little bit. Yeah, John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, you know that. Monica Rambeau as Captain Marvel with the black and white costume.
Nice.
Again, proving that she should have been Captain Marvel for the MCU first.
I'd have been all over it. Because for those who don't know, in the comics, Monica Rambeau is fucking awesome.
Monica Rambeau is fucking awesome.
Did she have her like huge 80s fro?
She did not. She looked more like the Monica Rambeau from the Captain Marvel movie. But honestly, like I'm really not going to complain that much. Like I will take what we got. Gladly take what we got. And then you've got Captain Carter, who was kind of spoiled in a poster or one of the trailers or something. So we knew that she was there. Mordo, we knew that from the trailers. And then the big one is Charles Xavier. But not just in Charles Xavier. This is Charles Xavier from the animated X-Men universe. And if there was any doubt, because, okay, well, he's got the gold chair. No, they played the fucking X-Men theme when he rolled in.
But he's portrayed by Patrick Stewart?
But he's portrayed by Patrick Stewart.
That's interesting. Also, thank you for the 100 bits, One Path.
So, I about lost my shit when I heard those notes play. I'm like, oh, no, they fucking didn't. I mean, he's got the fucking tie and everything. Like, this is Charles Xavier from the fucking Fox Kids X-Men.
Wow.
It's so fucking weird.
Well, by extension, if they're all from the same universe, that would mean it's also the Reed Richards from that universe.
It seems like that.
And the same Baron Mordo, so that would mean that the Mordo was supposed to be the Mordo from Spider-Man the Animated Series.
It seems like that.
The implications are interesting.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell this happened, but maybe it's also going to tie into the new X-Men animated series that they're doing. I'm not sure. I don't know. But there is little doubt. Like, you don't just play those notes and it not mean anything. That definitely means something to people like you and me.
Yeah.
What sucks, though, is, all the Illuminati here, they gone. They are dead. Thankfully, though, this is not the multiversal Illuminati.
It's just one universe.
This is just the Illuminati of this universe.
Which, of course, means that for those who don't know, that means that in the MCU, we can still get Professor X, we can still get the Fantastic Four. They've already got a Fantastic Four movie planned. If they had Krasinski in this, they will probably bring him back, I would think. I'm just praying to God, please, for the love of Christ, do not cast Seth Rogen as Ben Grimm.
No, bring back Michael Chiklis.
Yes.
Bring back Michael Chiklis.
But don't make Michael Chiklis distort his voice more, though. Because he actually said that tore his throat up when he was doing the Ben Grimm. Just let him talk like Michael Chiklis. I'm perfectly fine with Ben Grimm sounding like Vic Mackey.
Yeah, no problem with it, and no need to give him the freaking mouthpiece either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this Illuminati, obviously they dead now. So we won't be seeing them again at the very least. The way they go out, holy fuck though. And this is why I say there's some Evil Dead vibes in here. Wanda's kill. Oh,
well, hold up. We need to say, okay, so the twist of this movie is who the villain is, and the villain is
Wanda Maximoff.
She wanted to get her kids. She's letting nothing stop her. Also, the Darkhold has corrupted her. So there you go.
Oh.
Yep.
So that's what's
that
involved
happened.
in this. Okay, that I did not know.
Yep. Yep. She was corrupted by the Darkhold. So anyway, Wanda goes on a rampage. She kills the Illuminati. The way she kills Black Bolt is probably the most brutal kill in a PG-13 movie that I've seen. Straight up, like, I have no mouth and I must scream.
Ooh.
His fucking skull caves in.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, like, it's obvious what fucking happens to him. It's crazy. That was one that I was kind of expecting people to scream at. Dead silence. No reaction.
One thing I should also say real quick. For those who don't know what the Darkhold means, the Darkhold is a book that was created by Chthon, which is an old school Doctor Strange villain.
They name drop him too.
He is basically the equivalent to Cthulhu. But he's got a little bit more of Satan in him as well. Kind of a mix of the two characters.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, he can be fucking scary. The way he has been portrayed, he's had several different looks. So it's kind of just assumed at this point that he's a shapeshifter. Sometimes he looks like a traditional demon. Other times he does look like Cthulhu. But this is not the first time in fiction that he has possessed a member of Magneto's family. So Magneto hates him too. So.
Yeah, that's your Wanda. I mean, this is a no holds barred Wanda. I mean, she will literally steal her kids from a different universe just to have them back, even though they basically weren't fucking real to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, another thing.
She gone full cray cray. Yeah.
So this is a bit of a question beforehand. Shuma Gorath.
Okay.
Is he the only? Shuma. It's not Shuma. What is it, like one of his avatars?
I guess. I mean, they don't name him. They just call him like the squid or the octopus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's killed in like the opening fight of the movie.
I had a feeling that was the case. So it's an avatar of Shuma then.
Yeah. So it's not. No. This is not Shuma Gorath.
Yeah. Here's the thing. They had to call him Gargantos in the script because they're still trying to get the rights to the name.
Yeah.
But he probably wasn't named in the film, right?
No, it was not.
Yeah.
Not at all.
So, yeah. It's a placeholder for toys.
Yeah. But it's weird, though, because they do say that he was summoned by Wanda.
Yeah.
The whole plot of the movie basically revolves around Wanda wanting America Chavez's powers to travel the multiverse freely and get her kids back.
It sounds to me like she's tearing open elements of the magical world, which to me, just as somebody who... That's one of my favorite elements of Marvel, has always been the magical realm, where you get into the Vishanti and into like fucking Shuma Gorath and Chthon and Nightmare and fucking all of Ghost Rider's shit, which of course that would open the door for the Midnight Suns. What else?
Midnight Suns is totally going to happen. There's no way that
they need to bring in Johnny Blaze. Like, canonically he is in the MCU, but we don't know who plays him. Because he shows up in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. very briefly to give you Robbie Reyes his powers. Yeah. He basically gave, like, I think Reyes said in the show Johnny gave him a fraction of his power, which is a scary thought. But
who was the second Ghost Rider?
Danny Ketch, Johnny's little brother.
There you go. Yeah. I kind of think he's going to be the next one.
Yeah, but this also opens the door for Mephisto. This opens the door for a lot of scary shit. I mean, Sidorak. We know Sidorak exists because in Infinity War, Doctor Strange uses the Crimson Bands of Sidorak on Thanos.
Yep.
So
I'll go ahead and build on top of that a little bit. So the Book of Vishanti is the MacGuffin of this movie.
Ooh.
That's what they're trying to get to stop Wanda. Beyond that, the post-credit scene opens a door to the dark dimension and Dormammu.
Oh God.
So Dormammu is going to be a thing again.
Does Clea show up?
Yes, she's the one who does it.
Nice. I love it. I love Clea.
Yes, it's so funny too because like half of the movie is Doctor Strange, trying to come to terms with the fact that he's lost Christine Palmer.
Yeah.
They're not going to be together, and then Clea shows up at the end, and I'm like, well, he's about to get over her real quick.
Oh yeah. Who plays her?
Charlize Theron.
Really?
Yes.
Good pick. Good pick. I'm down with that.
Yep. So, yeah, we are going to be eating well in the future. But no, so end credit scene is basically she pops up next to him and says, "You caused an incursion, and we're going to go fix it."
I like it.
Takes him the fuck away to Dormammu, basically. So, holy shit.
I am really hoping that we get to see a more physical form of Dormammu that is closer to his comic book interpretation.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping so. I mean, I kind of feel like we have to at this point because Clea is there now.
Yeah.
So
here's another thing.
No brainer.
In the promo imagery, the Doctor Strange is wearing the Eye of Agamotto.
Yes.
How?
He's using it sort of like a brooch for the cape. But he does a thing with it where he opens it to try and open a locked door. So I am not sure what he's doing with it. I don't know why it opened, but whatever. I guess at this point it's just there for decorative purposes because it didn't really serve any other purpose beyond that.
Okay, because I was very confused by seeing that in the promo imagery. I'm like, the eye was a container for the Time Stone in the MCU. Right. I'm like, because for those who don't know, the Eye of Agamotto in Marvel 616 is not a container for an Infinity Gem. It is its own object, and Agamotto was not a sorcerer. Agamotto was a god. So that was a very different thing. So this is really intriguing though. Like I need to see this film.
So I mean it's got a ton of Easter eggs for anyone who knows their comics history. Like it's crazy. I mean, they're working when Doctor Strange gets captured by the Illuminati. That universe's Christine Palmer name drops the Baxter Foundation, for example.
Okay.
Reed Richards says, yes, I've got kids of my own, and Sue Storm is alive there, and they're married in that universe. So, there you go on that front. Man. So that the one moment that I think they could have gone harder on, and it probably would have gotten an R rating. So naturally, Wanda kills all the Illuminati, except for Mordo, who just kind of like falls into a pit and doesn't get out.
Okay.
And it's not even that. It's not like a bottomless pit or anything. It's just literally.
But it's not this universe's Mordo. It's another Mordo, right?
No, it's not. This universe's Mordo does not show up at all.
Oh, okay. So they're still setting up for him in the future
weird.
then.
Yeah. But Doctor Strange has apparently had a run-in with him before.
Yeah.
Because when he sees the alternate universe Mordo, he says, "Oh, my Mordo tried to kill me and became like my arch enemy."
Mm-hmm.
So apparently they've had a run-in like off camera somewhere,
Okay.
but I don't know where.
Because for those who don't remember, the last we saw Baron Mordo was in the first Doctor Strange film, and he stole the magical energy from Benjamin Bratt's character, which was basically helping him to walk. So it was like one of the most cold-hearted fucking moves we had seen in the MCU at that time.
Oh yeah. Where was I? Oh yeah. The kills. So Black Bolt gets his skull caved in because he has no mouth and must scream. Mr. Fantastic gets turned into spaghetti. Or actually, I take that back. It's not spaghetti. You know what happens when you fucking undo all the pieces of a Twizzler?
Yes.
That's what happens to him.
Oof.
He gets torn apart like a Twizzler.
So we've got full-on House of M power level Wanda.
We have got, yes. This is absolutely like that kind of Wanda. So Monica Rambeau just kind of has a statue fucking fall on her and she dies, kind of unceremonious. Captain Carter, though, the shield cuts her in fucking half.
That's kind of hilarious because Captain Carter was a character a lot of people didn't like.
Yeah. I almost wanted that to be the one scene where, like, they fucking show something for it. But it's just that implication that, you know, she's cut in half, you know, at the waist, you know, bisected, and then, you know, both halves fall in opposite directions, whatever.
Yeah.
If they had shown that off, like, any more than they did, then, yeah, that probably would have gotten the movie a hard R. Although, to be honest, like, the Black Bolt kill, that's one that I almost want to say, like, don't take your kids to see this, because they might have nightmares because of that scene. But, again, like, that's Sam Raimi for you. He has made a horror movie in the MCU, and I am absolutely fucking here for it.
Oh, yeah. Like, if there's any character that you could make a horror movie with in the MCU, it's Doctor Strange. And Sam Raimi's the guy for it. Does Bruce Campbell show up?
Bruce Campbell does show up. Bruce Campbell gets a scene of his own. He's just like the guy that runs a hot dog stand or whatever. And Strange casts a spell to make him beat himself up for like days or whatever.
Nah.
It's all just a joke because, you know, it's Bruce Campbell. And then Bruce Campbell gets the last post-credit scene. And he, you know, breaks the fourth wall and goes, "It's over." It's funny.
See, the funny thing is I've always felt like Bruce Campbell would be one of those actors, if you gave him a comic book character to play, he would shine. Mysterio.
He was supposed to play Mysterio in the original draft of Spider-Man 4.
Yeah, that would have been a good one for him.
Even as like a one-off, just like a joke thing, I still think he would have made a pretty good Quentin bag.
He would have been pretty good, yeah. Though he wouldn't have been my first pick for Mysterio. There's a couple of characters that I think he would be really well as. One is Paste Pot Pete. But if you want to have him be a villain in the future, Hobgoblin.
That's interesting.
I would love to see him as the Hobgoblin.
That is very interesting. Kingsley Hobgoblin, right?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Though, if you want to have him play a character that has to act, have him be the Chameleon.
I have been wondering how soon we could get Chameleon into the MCU.
Chameleon is one of the most underrated.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yes. And considering, you know, that was Spider-Man's first villain, too.
Oh, yeah. Because
literally his oldest.
The thing is, eventually we're going to have Venom in the MCU. It's going to happen at some point.
Yes.
They've already teased it. A lot of people are actually kind of, like, Venom fans are pissed off he wasn't in the most recent Spider-Man movie, for more than just a cameo. Because when they set that up at the end of it, everybody was actually kind of hoping that he was going to be one of the Spider-Men that helps him. Which
quite.
I still maintain, if you do a Spider-Man Venom movie as a team-up story, that's going to be gangbusters.
Oh, yeah.
I want Carnage in the MCU. If you watch the second Venom movie, it's going to be hard to pull off, we'll put it that way. Even though Woody Harrelson was a good Carnage.
Not necessarily. You could still find a way to get Carnage in there.
Yeah, you could maybe do it, but...
I kind of think they're going to do Toxin next, though.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do in the next Venom movie, is definitely Toxin. Because Patrick shows up in the third film, or in the second Venom movie. So... but yeah, if you do the Spider-Man Venom team-up movie at some point, it will be huge. Like, how much money did the most recent Spider-Man film make?
It crossed. Well, it went well over $1 billion.
It almost made $2 billion. Current box office sits at $1.893 billion.
That's a lot of Spider-Man.
Yeah, that's fucking huge.
That's gangbusters.
And not to mention, one thing I would have loved to see just him show up in the most recent Spider-Man movie is to see Tobey Maguire's character's reaction to him. Because the dialogue writes itself. He gets shocked out of his fucking mind. He goes, "No, no, no, no way. And how the hell did you get on steroids?"
Yeah, especially if they share a multiversal hive mind, too. Like, that... The implications for that will be crazy.
Yeah. But the big thing is, everybody wants that Venom with that spider design on his chest, man.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see that, because the Venom look is so iconic. He is... Like, I was talking with some comic pros, like, a couple of years ago about this, and we were talking about, like, some of the most iconic designs from the 90s, because a lot of the comic pros that I've met are guys that worked on major franchises in the 90s or the 2000s. Like, Ethan Van Sciver obviously worked on Green Lantern in the early 2000s. Art T. Bear is another guy I know. He worked on X-Men in the 90s, so he worked on X-Men at its prime. For those who don't know, he was inking fucking Jim Lee's work on the X-Men. So we were talking about iconic 90s designs, and how 90s designs were just kind of better than a lot of the stuff you see these days. And one thing that I had even argued while we were talking about it was that one thing I liked about what those guys were doing at the time was simplicity. The designs were not overly complex. You look at, like, Cyclops' outfit. It's a blue leotard with, like... He's one of the few characters that could do the underpants over the pants, and it actually didn't look bad. And then, like, with Cyclops, if you need a little flair, just throw a leather jacket on him. And he looked like a fucking stud, you know? And with Venom, it was so simple. Spider-Man's black outfit on a bigger dude with a evil-looking jawline, and he looks like evil Spider-Man. It's simple, but it looks so fucking good. So yeah. I mean, and that was a lot of, like, with the Saint, what we came into with his design. He looks like a 90s character. That's by design, you know? So, Beast Venture says, I'm guessing you prefer Hardy's Venom over Grace's. Yeah! Yeah!
Yeah.
It's
funny, I was just talking about that last night, and how even if you can justify how they treated Eddie Brock and Venom in Spider-Man 3, there's little justification for Topher Grace being cast as Eddie Brock.
Yeah, they're never going to bring him back. That's never going to happen.
Nope.
He is dead and buried, and thank God for that.
It's funny, too, because I think everyone in that conversation was generally, like, accepting that movie is probably what cratered Topher Grace's career, because we were like, what has he been in since then?
Nothing.
Like,
not really much of anything.
Predators.
Yeah, and he was terrible in Predators too.
Yeah, some other like rom-com movie, and then fucking Black Klansman. And now he's going to do that '90s show. So it's like he really can't escape that '70s show.
He really can't, no. Because he was just a bad pick for Eddie Brock. He really was.
Yeah. So that doesn't have a lot of range there.
Yeah, the virgin Topher Grace versus the fucking Chad Tom Hardy.
There you go.
Okay, back to Doctor Strange.
Yes, back to Doctor Strange. Any questions so far? Like anything?
What
chat.
other demons?
How is chat reacting?
What other demons were mentioned? Or multiversal entities? Because there's specific ones that I'm curious about. Like Mephisto was one
mentioned. Mephisto did not get mentioned.
Okay.
They didn't name him. Chthon was because Wanda goes to like some forbidden temple where the Darkhold originated from, and they say that was like the Temple of Chthon or something.
Yeah.
So that was totally name drop there. They're really leaning into the whole she is the Scarlet Witch, almost like Scarlet Witch is like a Phoenix Force entity in a way.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. That's about the closest comparison I can give. They didn't really name drop that many demonic entities. They just kind of showed some off, like the spirits of the damned that were meant to stop Strange from dream walking, possessing a body in a different universe, basically. Mm-hmm. Or what's it called? I forget the term, but I'm not gonna sweat on it. And they end up becoming like his new fucking cape for one scene, just kind of fucking hilarious. But no, like that's the only one that I remember specifically being mentioned by name. It's possible that there were some other ones that I just don't remember right now. But I remember that one specifically. I'm like, okay, that's interesting implications. So they didn't even mention Dormammu by name. They just kind of cracked open the portal to his home, and there you go.
Well, one thing I was admittedly kind of hoping is that like they would name drop Zarathos.
I don't remember Zarathos getting name dropped.
For those who don't know, Zarathos is Ghost Rider. So that's the spirit that inhabits Johnny Blaze. Who is literally a fallen angel, an angel of vengeance.
Yep.
That was imprisoned in hell, and was then bound to him through the contract that he signed with Mephisto.
Excuse me.
So.
No, I don't recall.
Sorry, I just really want Johnny Blaze, and now more than ever, I am okay with recasting Nicolas Cage as Johnny Blaze. On one condition. If you're willing to do a lower budget art house version of Ghost Rider, hire the guy who did Mandy and have him direct it. I would be all in for a trippy, heavy metal Ghost Rider film that is like Mandy.
That'd be wild as shit.
However, there is one thing that needs to happen, is whatever the ending is, it has to end with Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider riding into the sunset with a song by Judas Priest playing in the background. In fact, I would say just have like the whole soundtrack is just Judas Priest songs. Like seriously, it really should be. Because I like whenever I think of Ghost Rider, that's the band I think of is Judas Priest.
Not bad.
Maybe I should write it.
There you go. There's an assignment for you. All right, what else? What's chat got for me? Because
Yeah.
I know this is just a lot of like what's in there on your end, and some people in chat will probably
Somebody asked about
ask like,
whether or not
what's the
Zom got
reaction?
name dropped.
I don't think so.
That's who I actually thought the villain was. Because when you had like the like evil Doctor Strange, I thought that he tapped into Zom's powers like he did during Planet Hulk.
No.
So that was sort of a red herring in the trailers.
It seemed that way.
Um,
It's he's so Doctor Strange taps into like dark magic, but they don't like explain really much of anything aside from like it's based in the dark hold.
okay.
And his third eye opens at the very end of the movie.
Ooh.
Um, but the dark so climax of the movie.
Wait a minute. The
Wanda
third eye. So he
realizes,
opens the eye of the Vishanti.
Uh, more or less.
Ooh.
It's the way they play it out kind of makes it seem like he was corrupted by the dark hold just by using it. Which kind of goes contrary. So the Book of Vishanti is destroyed in the movie.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and it's implied that that's the only one in all the multiverse. And Wanda at the climax of the movie, she has a whole heel face turn and realizes I've become a monster and destroys the dark hole in every universe, and then like drops the whole forbidden palace on herself, and we don't know if she's dead or not. But it's like a so it can never be used again thing. But yeah, like the third eye opening, Sinister Strange, the evil Doctor Strange, from the trailers.
Mm-hmm.
He used the Darkhold to kill Thanos, the Thanos of his universe, and cause an incursion as a result.
Ah.
So his universe is kind of getting torn apart, basically. And his third eye opens when he goes to fight MCU Strange. So that's the implication that the Darkhold is the reason why. Like it corrupted Strange, and so third eye opens as a result.
Okay.
So yeah, that's about all I can gather from it.
What does Wong do in this one?
Wong gets captured.
Okay.
He basically gets held hostage by Wanda while she's casting her spells and dreamwalking and whatnot. And he assists in killing Not Shumagarath and defending Kamartaj when Wanda first attacks. And yeah, for most of the rest of the movie, he is just captured. He doesn't do a whole lot, which honestly kind of sucks because I like Wong. I think everybody likes Wong.
Oh yeah. Well, just the fact that he's played by a guy named Wong.
Yeah, it makes it easy. Makes it easy.
Well, I think that's pretty much the long and short of it. So final rating, Hatman.
So
I'm guessing this is a go see it now,
rating,
motherfucker.
It is a go see it now. I'll say this: I think the movie made me more excited for what's to come because of the implications for later on. Kind of like kind of like how what was it? Captain America: The Winter Soldier?
Mm-hmm.
How that post-credit scene sets up the Maximoff twins.
Right.
And you're like, oh shit, this is going to be great. Coming up is going to be fucking awesome. This setting up the incursions and the Illuminati, which I believe MCU Strange is probably going to found in order to stop the incursions.
Yeah.
is going to be fucking awesome. Hopefully, though, he will learn from Hickman's depiction of the Illuminati, because this Illuminati, their arrogance and their hubris is what led to Wanda killing all of them. So we'll see what happens. And also, if the rumors about Namor being in Black Panther 2 are true, please God, I hope if they do Illuminati, they do bring in fucking Namor.
Oh, absolutely. I think you have to.
I fucking hope so. They better, because what? T'Challa is fucking dead. Tony Stark is fucking dead.
Well, there's been rumors that they've been looking to recast T'Challa.
I don't know.
A lot of the reason being is apparently some people at Disney are very frustrated with the girl who plays Shuri.
Oh,
and
Letitia Wright.
Yeah, with her anti-vax stance, and B, with her just kind of being difficult to work with.
Mm-hmm. I have not heard any rumors about T'Challa being recast as a result of that. I have heard rumors that Winston Duke and M'Baku is going to take up the mantle of Black Panther because of what's going on with Letitia Wright.
I hate that idea.
Originally they wanted her to do it like in the comics, but now they're looking more towards him.
I hate that idea.
So
I really do.
I don't know how I feel about it. I like Winston Duke. I like his portrayal of M'Baku. Obviously, they're never going to let him be Man-Ape. So
even though he is in all but name.
Yes, he is in all but name, but it's like as soon as they name him that, you know an internet war is going to start.
Oh yeah. Which is why they give him the gorilla motif, but they don't call him the Man-Ape.
Yeah. Yeah. So, final verdict is I like it. Go see it as soon as you can, and dear Christ, Secret Wars, it's totally fucking happening.
Yeah. Which, by the way, for those who don't understand like what that could mean, that could, the thing about having Secret Wars is you could resurrect people that died off in previous films,
yes,
including Thanos, yes, including one thing that somebody hinted at is that there's the possibility that like villains have been resurrected by this film. Which, in my opinion,
possible.
If you do that, good, because you killed off a lot of villains who shouldn't have been killed.
Yeah.
Ultron being one. The Red Skull's not dead, but thankfully. Which actually makes me wonder, since the Infinity Stones in that universe are gone.
Maybe an incursion means that the Infinity Gems of that universe would be used in the one that it collided into.
Yeah. Somebody's gonna have to refund your points, Thunder Nuggets, because we don't do the watch something delicious during this. I forgot to turn that off.
But yeah, God, if they bring back Thanos, I almost want that one scene where Doctor Doom just fucks Thanos.
Well, he kind of needed the power of a god to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that addendum needs to be made, because the whole reason Thanos does what he does is to distract him. Right.
But I mean, movie-going audiences would eat that shit up.
Yeah, they would.
Like that would be like a, oh, holy shit, like heard around the theater moment.
The only problem is that The unfortunate thing about casting Mads Mikkelsen in Doctor Strange as Caecilius is he was Doctor Doom.
Yeah. He would have been good as Doctor Doom.
You'd have been amazing as Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
All right, time for Q&A.
All right, Q&A time.
So Logo Kick starts us off and he says, if either of you were to direct a movie, whether it be a current standing franchise of films, comics, books, or games, who would you cast and in what role? So it's kind of two questions, but I'll roll with it. So if I was to direct a movie, we actually talked about this last night while we were doing community game night. My pick is Predator. I would do another Predator film. As who would I cast in the lead? Dwayne Johnson. And I would actually try to make it as star-studded of a Predator film as possible. And I'm doing the whole thing where I'm wanting to get another pro wrestler that is an actor on there. So Batista or John Cena.
So you want to do the Expendables, but Predator.
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
And would I bring back
amazing.
Arnold as a retired Dutch? Yes. I would have Dutch to have a cameo at the end, in the film. Because in the Predator universe, Dutch is still alive. Yeah, Dutch is not retired. He's still out there hunting predators.
What about what's his name? Danny Glover in Predator 2.
If possible. So, but that's what I would do is I would look for a dynamic kind of like the original guys, because the way that John McTiernan described it in the original film was that it was like if the Magnificent Seven had something that could take them down, that isn't like a gang of dudes, you know. And that's kind of what I would want to go with. So yeah, I would. That's what I would do. Is I would direct a Predator film, and I would have Dwayne Johnson as the lead. I would work in his schedule too, because there's nobody else, in my opinion. The very fact that Hollywood did not look at Dwayne Johnson as a potential lead for a fucking Predator movie says a lot about how fucked the whole situation is in Hollywood right now. How about you, Hatman?
Metal Gear Solid. Thomas Jane is Solid Snake.
Okay, interesting choice of Solid Snake.
I'm basing this mostly on his performance in The Mist. He can do the Snake voice.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of scenes in there where he does that gruff, deep voice, and I swear to God, it's really, really close to David Hayter. So, I think he'd be able to pull off Solid Snake.
Okay, fair enough. For the podcast, 420 Gunny wants to know if we could do a Warhammer video game, movie, or graphic novel, or whatever. What era would you prefer, and what would the story be about? Era is 40K. Fuck Warhammer Fantasy. I don't give a flying fuck about Warhammer Fantasy. It's edgy Lord of the Rings. I don't like it. As for what the story would be about, I would want to do a story about the salamanders. Because I didn't realize that there was a 6-issue fucking Black Templar comic that was godlike. That I had read. So I would much rather do a salamander story. What about you, Hatman? Do you know enough about?
I honestly have no idea what I would do.
Okay, well there you go.
I have no idea.
Servant wants to know, besides Joe Quesada, What hacks need to be permanently fired from Marvel for them ever to be able to make anything good again, including brand new IPs? Sana Amanat, who, by the way, even despite all rumors, is actually still there. Which, again, you gotta confirm that shit. Sana Amanat is the key one. She is the main reason that the diversity pushes has happened. So, and I'm sorry, guys. Like, thinking that she was out was wishful thinking. There's only one person with the power to get rid of her at Marvel as of right now, and it's Kevin Feige, and he does not have the balls to do it. Because he does not, in my opinion, hold the publishing side to the standard that it needs to be held. Like, Kevin Feige being given control of all things Marvel, in my opinion, like, could have changed everything, and it changed nothing. And I'm very, very pissed off about that. So, but Sana Amanat needs to go, or Marvel will never get better. That's the only thing that can happen, because they've made other changes. They took away a lot of Joe Quesada's power. They took a lot of what's his face, the other guy who was fucking things up, Axel Alonso. They took a lot of his power away. The only person with as much power as their current editor-in-chief is Sana Amanat. And as long as she's there, you better prepare for DNC pamphlets, because she has a bunch of connections within the DNC. So, what do you think, Hatman?
I don't even know who's left, to be honest with you. Amanat's is a good choice, but I don't know who's still writing for Marvel anymore. I don't really pay attention much to it. At this point, I've kind of sworn off Marvel comics and DC comics, because obviously for their content, what they're doing with them. So I don't know. I'm almost at the point where I say clean house and bring in fresh workers all around. Fresh artists, fresh fucking writers.
Needs a purge.
Yeah.
Acorn
a crusade, if you will.
Yeah. Acorn wants to know, and this is a question somebody asked last week. So, do we think that the streaming service is the bubble's going to burst? Possibly.
I talked about Netflix last week. I think the Netflix bubble is going to burst first. I'm not sure about how long it'll take for all the other ones, but I know that the Netflix bubble is going to be the one that pops. Yeah. I don't think Netflix is going to last another, I'll be generous and say 5 years.
Not in their current state, no.
No.
Yeah, change has to happen at Netflix or they're in trouble. But the streaming bubble in general, it's not going anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere. Yeah. It could happen, but I'd give it maybe a 30% chance.
I think people are far too invested into it to get out.
Yeah.
Like people who use the streaming services and the companies themselves. I think they're both too far in.
Let's see. Diva wants to know if you're making. Let's say we had a fan fiction and we're making it into its own thing, but the villains in the original property were remnants of the Nazis. What would you think a good replacement fits their bloody history and desire for domination of thoughts and of the world? She mentions like the communists. I would. Well, the thing is that if you're turning it into its own thing, you can still use the Nazis. You just can't use the same Nazis from the universe beforehand. They gotta appear different. So, because I will say right now, there are zero things wrong with using the Nazis as bad guys in anything. You are not going to see. You're not going to hear me complain. You can say it's overplayed. You can say that the commies aren't used enough as villains. That's fine. I still don't mind seeing Nazis get killed. Because they're Nazis! Jeebus! Anime Guy wants to know, have either of us read or seen Spy X Family yet? Nope. Everybody's telling me to see it. Not going to watch till the season's over. That's my official... Folks, before you ask me questions week over week, if I've seen Spy X Family, Moon Knight, or anything else that the season is not done with, wait till the season's over. Thank you. This has been an official announcement from Micah Curtis. RPX links to another Magic Mike thing, which again makes me very confused because I am not buff, nor could I ever be a male stripper because I can't dance either. So I'm just confused. Holy Ninja has a question that is relevant for today. Who are the best and worst mothers in media?
That's a good damn question.
Best mom. Sue Storm.
That's a good pick.
That's my pick right out of the gate. Sue Storm. Worst mom. This is gonna seem like an easy layup, but the mom from Mother Dearest. Or Mommy Dearest. No wire hangers.
It's an iconic scene. So I'm going to say for my worst, it would be the mom of Futurama.
Okay.
For the best, I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to say Aunt May. For all intents and purposes, she is Peter Parker's mom. And she has done a damn good job of raising that boy. Because remember, adopted mothers are still mothers.
This is true. This is very true. Hardboiled asks a question, but this looks like it's going to be some politics. Let me read through it real quick. Actually, Hardboiled, somebody pick another question because somebody asked that one last week, and we've been saying for weeks on end that yes, it's a good idea for good guy investors to get into this and on a cultural level. So we've been saying that for weeks. So go ahead and come up with another question. Because I feel like we've been like that's kind of an obvious yes. Melee Brawler wants to know best and worst superpowers. In my opinion, the best superpower is invulnerability. Or
yeah, I would say so. Yeah. Worst? I mean, like worst actual superpower that somebody had? Or...
Yeah, let's go with worst actual.
I think the meme of talking to fish kind of fits in here.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of a low blow, but like.
Well, and that's the thing. Like,
let's be real. They had to basically remake Aquaman because of that.
Yeah. My ability to talk to fish is of no help, Wonder Woman. Yeah, I would think that would probably be pretty up there, is the ability to talk to fish. Yeah, that's how I would put it. Because Lord God, talk about something that's only going to come in handy in certain situations.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I think that's the only other bad one I could think of. One that would suck to have at certain moments would be like Wolverine's enhanced senses, specifically that sense of smell. Because have you ever walked into a situation where you smell something kind of dank, but it's not so pungent that like it makes your stomach churn? Imagine having senses like Wolverine's and walking into a situation like that. How much worse it would be.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I genuinely think that Wolverine is so grumpy. Because just imagine having to smell all of the worst of everything. All the time. Like, somebody farts in the X Mansion, and he's gonna smell it no matter where he's at. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Okay. What would be the biggest miscast in a film or series that we otherwise really enjoy? Topher Grace's Venom. That is the biggest miscast has already happened. Topher Grace's villain as Venom. It is, in my opinion, it is the biggest miscast I've ever seen in my life. What do you think, Hatman?
I would say Keanu Reeves in Coppola's Dracula.
Ooh, that's another good pick too. That is another really good one.
Because I like Keanu Reeves,
but not in that.
But no, he brings that movie down, especially like against Gary Oldman.
I know, him and Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins are just pouring themselves into it, and
oh yeah,
like it's very kind of a Shakespearean feeling Dracula. It's kind of over the top, especially with the guy who plays Renfield. Master!
Oh God,
Master! Yeah. You promised me eternal life, but you give it to the pretty woman.
Yeah.
What's another? But yeah, Keanu Reeves. I know where the bastard sleeps. Carfax Abbey. He's trying so hard to be British, but he sounds like a Californian still. It's like, come on, man. So, yeah. Okay. Let's hit the chat. Leonardo Juan has a statement, but he's been saying it over and over again, so I guess I'll acknowledge it. Well, no, it is a question. Never mind. He says, have you heard that there is a game on Steam where you play as Kyle Rittenhouse killing a group of zombie Antifa? That's cringe.
That's funny.
Whoever made that, they posted cringe.
That's actually kind of funny.
Because here's the thing. I fully believe that what Kyle Rittenhouse did was completely justified. That's cringe. He's not a hero. He's a guy who got caught in a bad situation, and he defended himself. He's not a fucking hero. And trotting him out like he is one is going to ruin that kid's life. Because the fact of the matter is... Hold on. I'm not done ranting yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Making him a cultural figure on the right, you have doomed him to have to be in politics for the rest of his existence.
Okay, so you said what I was going to say anyway.
Yeah. Like, you have forced him, basically a child, into that. So, Charlie Kirk, you're a fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
along with everybody else who did that to him. No, he's just a guy. Let the kid have a life. Let him go out there and fucking have a family and all this other stuff and put that horrible night behind him. From now on, he's gonna have to live through that over and over and over again. Fuck you! Okay. Crystal Hydra wants to know, do we think we'll get the original Thunderbolts in the MCU? So Atlas, Songbird, Mach 1, Moonstone, Techno, Jolt, and Citizen V. I am honestly hoping we do. Because Citizen V is just why am I forgetting his name? He was a fucking villain in Civil War. What was his name?
Zemo.
Yeah, Baron Zemo. It's just Baron Zemo in a different costume. So yeah, you could do that very easily. You know? So yes, I hope so. I would love to see the original Thunderbolts. Tyler Preston wants to know, have you heard of Marvel's imprint, The New Universe? No, because I don't pay attention to Marvel anymore.
No.
Mab wants to know, with Doctor Strange 2 turning out fine, do you think that the upcoming Thor movie will turn out well? Nope.
Nope. Because they are leaning into the... the Guardians of the Galaxy are there. I think they pretty much accepted the fact that Thor is better as a Guardian of the Galaxy, which he isn't. He's Shakespearean, damn it. I will die on this hill. Ragnarok was not a good Thor movie.
No.
At least they're going to go through with the whole Jane Foster has cancer storyline. At least they're doing that.
Or, well, good. Kill her off. Let's see here. JH wants to know, what are your feelings on the Thomas Jane Punisher movie? It was pretty alright.
It's alright.
Like, going back and watching it, it's still just kind of pretty alright. I don't think it's aging very well.
That test footage they shot for another Punisher outing with him,
yeah,
I thought was way better, though.
And then the short film that they did called Dirty Laundry.
Oh, no, that's the one I'm thinking of. Okay.
Yeah, where he kills a pimp with a fucking Jack Daniels bottle. Yeah. Oh.
I thought that was test footage, but okay.
No, that was a short film that was done with Marvel's permission.
Cool. All right. Yeah, no, that is where he really shined, if you ask me.
No, yeah. Loved Ron Perlman as a cameo character in that too. But no, I think that, like, with the tone of the way that it was supposed to go, like, I have a feeling that Tom Jane is honestly kicking himself for turning down the MCU role.
Mm.
Now, granted, John Bernthal brings an intensity to Frank Castle that we've never seen before. Like, so I love John Bernthal's. All memes aside, no, wait. Like, just, like, John Bernthal is awesome. So, the only criticism I would have for John Bernthal, put a little bit more mass on your shoulders and your arms, and your chest. Just bulk up a little bit. Just a smidge. Because even though he has a great presence as an actor, he needs to kind of beef up a little bit. The man can eat a few more cheeseburgers, eat a few more steaks.
Yeah.
A little meat. Because that is the one thing that Tom Jane has over John Bernthal. Tom Jane's a big dude.
Oh, yeah.
So. He had better writing in the Daredevil show. Well, that's because in the Daredevil show they were going off of the Garth Ennis version of Frank. Like that fucking rooftop scene, dude. That argument is so good.
That was the best episode of Daredevil.
It's the best episode of Daredevil. It's one of the best dialogue exchanges in the entire MCU.
Absolutely.
Because now it is the MCU. Now it's canon for it.
Mm-hmm.
Just that, the Kingpin's speech about the Good Samaritan at the end of season 1.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God.
You know, I am the malignant intent, I think it was. Or I am the vile intent.
The ill intent.
The ill intent, rather. What else was there? Like, that's on par with Thanos' like discussion with Gamora in Infinity War.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's up there. Good lord, like John Bernthal's Punisher was just so good. Yeah, the pawn shop scene. The pawn shop scene is one of the best examples of acting purely through body language. Because if I remember right, in the pawn shop theme, Frank has 3 lines. Just 3. I also love that the like the fucking opening theme to the Punisher is bluegrass. Because like that, talk about knowing your audience, right? The Punisher is one of the favorite characters of people in like the South and the Midwest. That's probably where he is most popular, is in like red states. They love Frank because at the end of the day, even though what he's doing is against what a superhero would do, people don't really see the Punisher as a superhero. They see him as a guy who was pushed too far. You know, and he's doing something that the law refuses to do. At least in their eyes. So, is there anything else question-wise that we had? One Path, Two Choices had a good one. What do you think the most overrated character in fiction of all time is? Naruto.
That's a good pick.
I think Naruto's a shitty character. I think that he's stupid and he's more stereotype. He's more archetype than actual character. Like the problem is that he's every underdog ever, and he has no identity of his own. Because like, what is Naruto that Goku wasn't before? Many years before. What is Naruto that Spider-Man already wasn't many years before? You know, it's just one of those things where it's like, he's just when I say like Jujutsu Kaisen, what is Naruto but honest? It really is Naruto but honest, and the lead character is what Naruto should have been. You know? Because at the end of the day, Naruto's whole thing is that people don't like him. Or didn't like him years ago. People didn't like me as a kid, so I'm really fucking angry and shit. You know, but you were an Ubermensch the whole fucking time, dude. You know? So. Fuck, that show's fucking trash. Alright, folks. We have reached the end of the show. Cringe is owed, but only one clip has been suggested. So we will start with that. Allow me to... It is Farscape. Starting at 8:43.
All right. Where is
Give me 1 sec. I gotta get the link for
Discord?
you. One moment. Okie doke. Yeah, Thunder Nuggets in the chat put it very well. He's like, yeah, people in the village didn't like it, but he had a fucking bottomless pit of chakra in the form of the Nine Tails. Literally the most powerful of all the demon spirits. Like, fuck off, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So we can't show the clip because it's Farscape. So Hatman, tell me when you got queued up.
I've got it queued up.
And if Brain has a suggestion, he gets priority if there's one he's got. Oh, hit play. I forgot to say that.
Oh, sorry.
Right out of the gate, Farscape really had a great fucking makeup staff for their time. Like, dear God.
Yeah, the production design is really high caliber.
Oh, God. I forgot about this fucking scene. An isosceles triangle. And now comes the clarity.
Jesus.
Nah. Again, great show. Hatman needs to see it.
Yes, I do.
Because it's really good. It is probably one of my favorite shows that ever aired on Sci-Fi. Back when shows on Sci-Fi were good back in the day. I think Brain has actually taken off. So, we'll do a couple more clips. So we got one from Loco and one from Melee Brawler. So the Melee Brawler one, and by the way, it's in my Discord server, Hatman. In general,
Okay.
people put it in there. So with Tokusatsu out of context, we'll do this one until we quit because it's a 3-minute fucking clip. Tell me when you got that one queued up.
All right, it's queued up.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, starting out strong.
That guy has a moon pie for a face. That guy has a blow named Blue Cherry, and you shot his staff. And that got him. Okay.
Now for something completely different. That just looked like a Monty Python skit. Japanese family. Is your refrigerator running? Wait, what?
Oh, now we got Tokusatsu
Japanese
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. He just grabbed that man's penis. Okay. That's getting very, very cab right now.
Yeah!
Ah, Godzilla!
I love this.
Oh my god. It's so stupid. Ultraman. Riding a Triceratops like a fucking horse. Because of course. Yeah, watch the tail, buddy. Oh, wow, that dude's fucking mustache is impeccable. Why are you shooting at your grandchild? Okay, this is getting very cab again. Okay, wait a minute. Talking dog that is also a child. I've seen this video. I've seen this before. Oh, Jesus! Man, drugs in Japan must be awesome. Like, that's the conclusion I'm coming to right now. Because I'm looking at a Sentai character who is a Red Ranger with an emo coif on his helmet.
Yes, the Jet Jaguar song.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Last one. The clip is called There Will Be Bloodshed. It is 37
All right,
seconds. And it's already got an emotional woman. And for those who have not played the dating game yet, if something starts with an emotional woman, you're going to have a bad time. Unless you have a giant bar of chocolate somewhere. So, here we go. 3, 2, 1.
I'm single as I can be. You're single, perfect for me. I'm gonna give you a bunch of.
Oh my
Oh no!
my god.
Oh my lord. Well, one thing that I will say right now is if you have a girlfriend, at least 1 point per month, there will definitely be bloodshed. Oh, God. So I have a funny relationship story. Are you ready?
Go for it.
So this is back when I was married. So this was over 10 years ago. The wife was gone for whatever reason. So I decided to go on a walk throughout town. And I picked up some stuff at the grocery store. I come back, and I leave it there on the table. And I just bought her a couple of candy bars, basically. And I'm sitting there at the kitchen table just reading something. I don't remember what book it was. Might have been... Oh! I was rereading, oddly enough, every year I read The Problem of Pain by C.S. Lewis. So I was literally on my, like, it wasn't intentional. But she comes home from having, like, I think it was lunch with her parents. She comes home, she comes in, dog welcomes her like dog always do. Cats do the same thing. She comes home, I'm like, hey hon, what's up? You know, how was it? And she goes, oh, it was nice. And then she opens the bag from the grocery store on the table. I didn't even realize what I had bought her. I had bought her 2 Hershey's dark chocolate bars. And I got myself a dark chocolate Milky Way because I love those things. So it was just a dark chocolate theme. And I'm reading a book called The Problem of Pain. She looks at me without missing a beat and she goes, how did you know it was that time of the month? I just sit there for a second and I go, I have now ingrained into my subconscious when Aunt Flo's coming to town. This is awful. How the fuck? So, yeah. That is something that will happen, folks, when you get into a committed relationship, is you will memorize what time of the month your lady hits it so you can be prepared. You will know her comfort foods. You will know exactly what they are, and you will have them prepared. Because at that point, if she's got her comfort foods, the PMS point in time is not so bad. Because that's always the worst week. It's not when it hits, it's the week before. Hatman can confirm this for me. The week before is a fucking nightmare.
Can confirm.
Like, now, by the way, because one thing I could say is the last decade of my life where I have not had, like, a super committed relationship, except for, like, maybe 2, I will say this right now. Having grown up with women who have had to deal with that, and then had been married, not having to deal with that every month has been a fucking vacation! Just, good lord! It's like, there just came a point where it's like, alright, we've got dark chocolate, I've got your heating pad, we've got sad movies, you know, if you want to hit something, hit this pillow, please don't hit my face, which, for those who don't know, my ex-wife was abusive, that's why I say that. Now I'm just at a point where I'm just joking about it, because if I don't joke about it, I'm going to cry. You know, if you're going to hit something, hit this pillow. If you need to cry, you know, my shoulder's right here. So, but don't marry crazy, folks. Don't. You will get hit and abused a lot. It's not ideal. There's a reason I'm very fucked in the head. That's one of many reasons. So, all right. On a more positive note, Hatman is... You said you're clearing some things up. At least I caught the tail end of, like, the editing talk, right?
Yes.
So, hopefully we'll get the book out as soon as we can. I know you guys are excited for it. This week, my plan is to hopefully finish off the script for the first Servant. If not this week, then the next week. That will be done. I will hand that over to Bogdan. And then I don't know how done he is with Daniel Parker's book, because he's working with Daniel on the sequel to his most recent outing. So, to Angel's Awakening. So, which is called Guardian Angel. The other cool thing, I will say this, it is very good to see Serena back. And her book, Black Rhapsody, is now on Indiegogo. If one of the mods would actually be so kind as to link that and link Daniel's mailing list, I would very much appreciate it. If you have the links handy. If not, we'll get them next time. And anyone watching the replay, absolutely check those out. But before we go, I'm going to do an unboxing real quick, because I forgot that I got a comic book in. This is from a dude, a Comicsgate dude named Sweens, who is a buddy of mine. Haven't talked to him in a while. Hope he's doing all right. I actually helped him promote this book, if I remember right. But he was one of the guys who was promoting Comicsgate stuff. He was one of the books when I first did the first Englewood. So this book has been a long time coming. It's a bit behind. But I'm glad he's finally getting it out. So let's open this up. Let's see how it looks. It's in a Gemini mailer. It's upside down. Oh, wow. There's a lot of stuff in here. I didn't realize that we had all of these, that he had all these, stretch goal stuff. So, here's the packaging. Gemini mailer, plus, bagged and boarded, which we will always remember to do, right, Hatman?
Yes. The hard way.
Oh, wow, this is very well taped. Hold on a second. Need to really pull this. One thing that I'll say right now, for anybody who ships one of these, so what they did wrong, right out of the gate, with the taping of the bag, they did a long strip of tape lengthwise across that. Don't do that. The bag's too hard to open. So I have to cut it open now. Because, like, the plastic on the bag is starting to get deformed, and I don't want that. And now it's basically fucked, so I will actually get in touch with Sweens and tell him not to do that next time. So, you know, I don't know if there's going to be a next time for him. I don't know what his plans are, but... So, what do we got in here? We got an oddity pin. Ah! Helps if I don't drop things. A patch, which we need to look into these for 3 nights, because I have a vest that I want to put like a 3 nights patch on.
I know a guy who does embroidery, so that might be something we could get done.
Yeah, let's look into that as a stretch goal. We got some prints here. We've got a random one here. We've got an alternate to the EVS cover that Sweens did. That looks pretty cool. We've got, this is the Sashi print. Art looks good. Sashi's a very talented artist. This is one from Donald DeLay. This is the Team Monster print. Has Shinobi Sasquatch and Von Klaus's character from Monster MD. Sadly, Shinobi Sasquatch still has not come out yet. And then the Madness in the Marsh print. So a lot of nice little prints. And then we've got the actual EVS crossover cover. So the story behind this one is EVS drew the Cyberfrog on it. And then, of course, Sweens did his character of Oddity. But the gimmick is that one night in a discussion, so here's the cover. Kyle Ritter, who was the colorist on this cover, he and I were talking in a group of dudes. And he's like, you know, we've got these poses, but I need to draw something behind this. What do I do? And I said, well, why don't you take a Vespis hive from Cyberfrog and draw that behind them and have it being destroyed as if they're jumping out of it. So my suggestion is the reason that this cover looks the way that it does. So that's why I'm pretty attached to it, is because it's something I had a hand in. So that's pretty awesome. I will read this later, and I will give my thoughts on it next time. But Sweens is a good dude. I haven't talked to him in a while. We need to catch up. Once we do, I will. Once I read the book, I will get in touch with him. Tell him what I thought of it. He's a good guy. I like him a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hatman, any closing words before we take off?
I've got nothing.
I do not either. So, the only thing I can say is, we love you guys. Back Englewood Book 2 if you haven't already. And then, of course, get on the 3 Nights mailing list if you haven't already. On that note, my name is Micah Curtis.
I'm Alex Baldwin, and you know what? I think I need to find some dessert.
I need to eat. I haven't eaten yet today. So, we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.